What if I told you there's a future in which websites no longer exist, where instead of going to digiday.com to watch this video, you're watching it through an AI chatbot? In the age of AI mode and Google Zero, that's probably not hard to imagine. But what if instead of websites going extinct, in this future, they've just taken on a new form? This future in which websites no longer exist? It's the idea of the agentic web, a version of the web in which AI chatbots replace the browser and AI agents are the ones doing the browsing, accessing content, conducting transactions, and whatever else you and I do online today. Except for maybe sitting on Zoom, but dare to dream?
I do believe in the future that visualization of the browser will fade into the background and it will be more, this is my goal, this is the output. And the browsers will be kind of a bit more opaque in that process.
The agentic web becomes a lot easier to imagine when you consider that web browsers and websites are really just visual interfaces designed for people to be able to see and use the web. What they do is translate code into things we can scroll and click with our human eyes and hands. But AI agents don't need that translation layer. They're like the character Cypher in The Matrix, who's able to instantly translate code in his head into what that code represents.
Is that
The Matrix? Yeah.
Do you always look at it and code it?
Well, you have to. The image translators work for the construct program. But there's way too much information to decode the Matrix. You get used to it. I don't even see the code. All I see is blonde, brunette, redhead.
But here's the thing. Cypher was just looking at one source of information. AI agents are going to have to be able to communicate with virtually any and every entity in today's online ecosystem, from websites to all the various third-party vendors operating on and between websites. And whereas the web has standards for this communication so that websites and services and browsers can speak the same language, there's no such communication standard for the agentic web, which is where something called Model Context Protocol comes in.
AI is the new UI, right? So you have to be able to communicate to the back end of that system rather than using a traditional UI. The new option should be AI to communicate to the back end, and MCP would allow for that.
Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is meant to provide the communication standard for AI agents. It was created by Anthropic, the company behind the Claude large language model and chatbot.
It's a standard that was invented by Anthropic and has been adopted by OpenAI, Gemini, and the top LLMs in the market. We hope that it's a standard that takes off and really accelerates in the market because it's desperately needed versus trying to figure out how to program a communication between an LLM and your platform or your service or your function, right? The action you want it to take.
MCP just makes it really, really easy to be able to make those connections because it bridges the language differences, right, between the different tools and the inputs, the agents in that case.
To understand MCP, you first need to understand AI agents. Luckily, we have a whole WTF video breaking down what AI agents are and how they work. It's Ratatouille. Or more specifically, it's Linguini, the hapless human that Remy the rat uses as a kind of exoskeleton to cook fancy French food. Remy is the large language model. Linguini is the AI agent, and the pots and pans and produce and proteins are the tools that Remy is able to use via Linguini to fulfill the customer's order, or prompt. The issue with that agentic workflow is today's tools aren't really designed for AI agents. They're built really for human programmers. Think of something like Kayak, which pulls flight information from a bunch of different airlines. When an airline changes the way that it makes that information available, typically through what's called an API or application programming interface, developers at Kayak have to then go in and update their systems to work with the airline's updated API. And that assumes the airline gives Kayak the heads up about the API change, otherwise the connection can just break. So for the agentic web, there would need to be a way for Kayak's AI agent to find out when an airline has updated the tools available to the AI agent, and that signal would need to come in a language the AI agent can understand. And this is exactly what MCP is designed to do.
The connection to the MCP would be the same, but the API would continue to update to the MCP on the backside of that, right? So the MCP is, avoids having to constantly update the learning of the LLM because you're not changing anything with the LLM to MCP connection. You're only changing things from the data source to the MCP.
This will all make more sense once we've broken down exactly how MCP works. So Let's do that. Sticking with the Ratatouille analogy, we have the LLM, the AI agent, and MCP introduces something called the MCP server. Technically, MCP also introduces the MCP host and MCP client, but those are typically the same as the AI agent, so let's just keep things simple. You can think of the MCP server as the specialized cooking station like the pastry chef or saucier that the LLM can enlist via the AI agent.
The server is the thing that connects to the tool or tools, right, and is able to translate the request of the agent into an action for the tool.
When you connect an MCP server to a large language model, it exposes what tasks that MCP server can achieve on behalf of the large language model, how the large language model interacts with that MCP server, what tasks, B, what request to send to ask for that task, C, what output the MCP server will send to the LLM when it's accomplished that task, and D, what tools are available on the MCP server to achieve that task.
If the agent is the employee, right, and the employee wants to use the elevator, they have to push the button, right? The button is the MCP server. It's the interface that standardizes how someone accesses the elevator.
Before we dig further into Model Context Protocol, here's a word from this video's sponsor.
MCP and A2A are becoming the interoperability layer that makes AI not just powerful, but trustworthy in ad tech. For publishers and advertisers, it means more control, efficiency, and the ability to turn unstructured data into real business value. And MCP and A2A become the shared kind of layer where sellers productize their first-party data with LLM-powered agents, buyers deploy custom agents as their strategic edge, and this is how advertising kind of evolves into a marketplace of intelligent, collaborative agents driving more scalable, transparent, and result-driven outcomes.
There's a couple of different ways we leverage MCP. The first way is by enabling applications like Cloud Desktop, for example, to integrate with our product and provide prepackaged prompts, resources, and tools to support various use cases directly from an AI assistant. Imagine someone working for a publisher wanting to develop an ad product that they want to sell. They could explore the data set, run some queries, using some prepackaged prompts. The agent, the AI assistant would run the required tools, the queries on the data set, the evaluation of the size of the audience, the creation and activation of the audience, all from within their favorite AI tool, as long as it supports MCP. LLMs are really great at dealing with natural language and at extracting structure out of it. We see a lot of success right now in having them handle data analysis tasks, and especially at interpreting the results of those tasks and to drive decision making. For example, they can sift through a bunch of event data and define taxonomies out of it. They can create segments out of profiles, and we see good success with those workflows.
We see MCP and A2A as an ingredient of a broader approach to what we call agentic collaboration. Early pilots are showing that at the very least, we can massively streamline ad ops and data ops by using agents to execute certain tasks. And it is making it much easier for publishers to quickly respond to RFPs and use a myriad of data sources to build plans that actually meet advertiser partner goals. And simultaneously, publishers are able to use LLMs and MCP to deploy agents across their programmatic business to basically find inefficiency and help create holistic monetization growth that runs more autonomously. Imagine what would happen if, as a publisher, you had 100 data analysts working on monetization alone. What kind of insights would you like to get, from a deep dive into what audiences perform best? Maybe create an audience of highest performing audiences, manage a billing price floors in a way that properly values identity and audience data. That's ultimately the kind of power we're working to unlock, and that's why we see adopting MCP as an opportunity.
All right, back to the ratatouille analogy. The agentic workflow is the restaurant kitchen with Remy via Linguini serving as the head chef orchestrating the cooking and the various cooking stations as stand-ins for MCP servers. Now say a diner asks for the pasta special. I know ratatouille is about French food, but let me have this. Remy the LLM tells Linguini to find out what sauces are available. Linguini then calls out to the sauce station MCP server. But here's the thing, sauce station only speaks Italian and is very protective of their grandmother's recipes. This is where MCP's value as a communication layer comes in. It acts like a universal translator by giving Linguini and the sauce station a lingua franca. That way when Linguini asks for today's sauces, the sauce station can provide an up-to-date menu. Remy via Linguini picks which sauce to make, then the sauce station makes the sauce their way with their secret ingredients and sends it back without Linguini or Remy ever seeing the secret recipe.
You can define what information will be available within that MCP server that third parties can then tap into and manage permissioning around that and so on. So
you can describe the tools that are available, you can get a listing, and then you can call those tools. For example, get comment sentiment or whatever for this particular handle, or get me the latest, the top performing posts for last month, etc. The agent can translate that to the MCP server and sort of quickly filter that without having to make specific API calls.
I know, the MCP workflow may sound either really complicated or superfluous. But here's the thing, all you really need to know is that the MCP workflow doesn't dramatically change the way that data is shared or action can be taken compared to today's online ecosystem. It just wraps those systems into a layer that AI agents can interact with, which makes it so that companies' AI agents would be more easily and reliably able to interact with other companies' tools and resources, which is why companies are already working to adopt MCP.
MCP is going to be that unlock that allows for business services to be delivered between companies.
Salesforce has built an MCP server on top of their tech. So an AI agent from Nexon can communicate through that MCP server on Salesforce and tap into our Salesforce data. The same way as we can roll up an MCP server and make that available to our agency partner agents to tap into and get information from our systems.
That'll allow the user of that DSP to use natural language to deliver the same functionality it was pointing and clicking throughout a UI to do. It can now speak to the system and speak to the data to take that action and deliver that functionality and do more automations against that.
If an agency is doing planning and they want to understand, avails, et cetera, in our system, their agent could then communicate to our system through MCP and get that information, to drive those forecasts and those plans on their systems.
We're using MCP a lot, but we're also looking at agent-to-agent protocol. I think that could be another standard that is something to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, you heard that right. Just as we were wrapping our arms around MCP, turns out MCP isn't the only candidate to serve as the communication standard for AI agents.
Now, I don't know if it's IBM trying to make its own bones and kind of get connected, right? Because everyone connects MCP with Anthropic, right? But they've come up with something called Agent Context Protocol, ACP. And basically, if you think about what MCP is, which is how do you connect an agent to a tool, right? MCP is how do you connect, ACP is how you connect an agent to an agent, because that's ultimately what's going to happen. You have a lot of agent-to-agent communications without any tools and anything like that. And could that be MCP? Sure, because people are like, wait a minute, just don't overcomplicate it. Just use MCP for that.
And there's other protocols. I think Google has one called A2A, and it's to connect essentially agents together. So for an agent to communicate with another agent and so on. So MCP is one example out there. You're going to see a lot of these standards kind of roll out over the years, and a lot of these tools will roll out over the years that people are going to be tapping into.
Regardless of whether it's MCP or ACP or A2A or some other acronym, the point remains that some communication standard is needed for AI agents to interact with non-agentic tools and resources. And once that standard's in place, the shift to the agentic web will really get underway.
One thing that's interesting is, will there be an MCP server for that airline data, for example, the hotel data, or is it an MCP server that browses the web? And so, one example I was using today was to use a fetch MCP server to pull the S&P value over the past 30 days. And so it didn't need an MCP server for financial data. It actually went to Yahoo Finance and use the API and then pull that from there. So I think what we'll see in the future is MCP servers that are specific for organizations, maybe like an Expedia, for example, or a Marriott hotel. But then we'll also be seeing MCP servers that are able to do more generic types of tasks using tools like web browsing as well. And again, the building blocks are already starting to be there.